I put off reading this book because I wanted to read it when it felt just right. Everything I saw about it made me sure that I would absolutely love it. And you know what? I wish I read it sooner. And I also kind of wish that I didn't read it so that I could, read it for the first time again. A Vermillion Curse is marketed as Baldur's Gate 3 meets BatCat, and I am totally in on the BG3 craze. It's an amazing game. I do, however, not know very much about the BatCat dynamic, as I am not much for Western superheroes, apart from, the old Teen Titans show, but that's where my knowledge ends. Unless you count Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because then I'm in. But the whole Marvel, DC, universes things, it's not something I'm really interested in. I even despised Batman for a while because everyone assumed I liked him because of this whole obsession with bats thing. This book did, however, remind me of something else that I hold very dear. Hello, I'm Emilia. I'm an indie author, and let's talk about another indie book. Okay, so I will just get the best part out of the way first. This show reminded me so much about my all-time favorite anime. Especially the antagonist reminded me so much about one of the antagonists in this show that I became mildly obsessed. Sergei is one of the first characters that reminded me of Viral, which in itself is reason for me to love this book, because Viral is my favorite character, not just in anime, but any medium, all-time favorite. And I think that's mostly because both of them does what they believe is right, while still holding on to a really strong sense of honor. And just like Viral respects Kamina a lot, Sergei does respect our protagonists. And in both cases, it's not so much that they're an antagonist because of personal grudges, like in many cases, in many stories. It's more that our protagonists are going against what they believe is the right thing. And I also believe that both Viral and Sergei are very much heroes, while our protagonists in both cases are kind of more on the selfish side. Not in a bad way. Absolutely not. But I think that's also something that connected to. There's also a fight scene in the book that my mind just instantly imagined kind of like this scene from the show. And now I just really want to rewatch the show again. Okay, I need to stop thinking about Viral for a while, otherwise this will turn from a book talk into a Viral video, and I mean, it's already kind of turning into a Gurren Lagann video, so. The two main characters also kind of remind me of Kamina and Yoko, mostly just visually, but I mean, the female characters are both badass red-headed queens, so. And honestly, I believe both of them are great women to look up to. But apart from the characters, what really was the initial selling point for Gurren Lagann for me was the lack of good and evil. I mean, we have our protagonists and kind of a lot of antagonists, but it's not that black and white. Because even if the show is from one perspective, we do get to understand the other perspectives as well. And none of them are really evil. Now, the show highlights that reality really well. And I also believe that the author of A Vermillion Curse, DC, does a great job showing that kind of reality perspective as well. I mean, the book does have some good and evil, good or bad kind of thing going on, but for almost all of it, we do understand like the motivations and perspective from every party involved. And I do think most of the time we also like agree. We can see the point and relate to all of the different parties. I mean, we also do have the crazy religious cult thing in both the show and the book, though it does play a bigger role in A Vermillion Curse. But onto the book itself, it really lives up to that Baldur's Gate 3 vibe that it's marketed as, and I really love the characters and their dynamic. I mean, we have a bookworm demon who could really use a vacation, and a runaway human with performance skills, and they both have fighting skills, and of course with the whole romantasy thing, they don't really like each other when they first meet. It's not as extreme as enemies to lovers. They're more reluctant allies, so they don't hate each other. If you do want that hate to love action, Keep Me Breathing has some of that, at least from one side. Book promotion. All the way from them finding each other to realizing they have the same goal of finding their answers from the same weird cult thing, to sex pollen, to an almost forced pregnancy, to them slowly caring more about each other than they really should. A Vermillion Curse really like kept me on my toes throughout the entire book. And also like the care and protectiveness they both have for each other is just really sweet, and I love it, even when their communication skills sucks. And I know, I get it, but please don't leave to do the dangerous thing alone without telling your partner about it. I know there's good intentions, but it never works in your favor, okay? I mean, I absolutely love this kind of situation, but it just gets so damn frustrating every single time. I still love it, but it's frustrating. It's a good thing. In case you haven't noticed, this book gave me some major feelings. And no, I'm not the best at handling emotions, but I do believe the biggest sign of a great book or any art is the ability to make the consumer feel things, and A Vermillion Curse really succeeded with that. All in all, I really recommend this book and would probably recommend it to every single person that asks for a book recommendation. I've already done it at least once. And just, you should read it. I know there will be at least one more book in this series, and also a Spanish translation. I mean, I won't be able to read it because I don't even remember anything from my Spanish classes in middle school. But as someone who is also writing in their second language, I feel like this is super cool, and it's something like I would like to do with my books one day in Swedish. So to see someone who I absolutely adore and who is like one of the sweetest people, I feel like I say this every time, I get extra hyped up by books by sweet authors, like with the kind personality. I don't know, it adds some extra level. I absolutely believe this book stands on its own, apart from the author, but the author just makes it like 10 times better. Thank you so much for watching, have a great adventure, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!